G'day, mate. Welcome to Friday Facts 311 with the new Remnants number 3, and I've got a Mojo with me. Hey, mate.
Hello, I finally call you.
Yeah, we finally caught up. Yep. So this one's all about more Remnants, which is great, and
Hooray!
a mod highlight, a community highlight, whatever they want to call it.
Mod you're not allowed to play.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So, we've got more Remnants, and back in Friday Facts 288, they proposed multiple approaches when it comes to the Remnants, and basically the thing they wanted is they want everything to be flat and look flat so you could walk through it, which we both agreed with. And they were trying to find a balanced solution to make everything look flat, but at the same time have some sort of depth to it.
So you can still recognize it.
Yeah, so you can still recognize it, but more importantly, it wouldn't block a player walking straight across it. And they've added a lot.
They've been busy.
Yeah, they have. And we've got this pretty slider bar here that lets us see what it looks like beforehand and afterwards.
And murderize the base. You can murderize and unmurderize the base to your heart's content.
Yeah. And I gotta say, look, I like everything in it. There's a couple of things that are a little bit hard to recognize. The cargo wagons sort of disappear.
Yeah, the cargo wagon sort of disappears into nothing, but that's a very rare one, I will admit. Same with the train. I think the train you can recognize because it preserves the color. Cargo wagon is just grey, so it just gets lost.
The grey gets lost in the brown game. I still think it's a grey game. Yep.
It's becoming a grey game, isn't it?
It is. Roboport was another one that it's a nothing.
Yeah, assembly machine sort of falls into that category too.
Assembly machine definitely does because it's just a burnt out mass.
Yeah.
But then again, you're going to have belts and inserters facing it everywhere. You're going to sort of guess, that's probably an assembly machine. Roboports,
just by deduction, you can probably find it.
Roboports, on the other hand, not so much. Because they're sort of thrown down here, there, and everywhere willy-nilly. So, yeah. I did notice that there's, inside the lab, there's a little lab. That's where all the actual science happens, in the little lab, not in the big lab. The big lab's just where we shut on the lights to say we're working.
Labception.
Yep.
The big lab is just the disco part.
Yeah. I'm sort of... So, with the list of things they've added, like we've got many alternates for the medium power poles, or at least I hope so. I don't see any different... Maybe, there's a couple of different varieties here. Or is there?
I haven't spotted any.
No, and all the small power poles, they're
all the small power poles. All the power poles are the same.
Yeah. This is an artist's rendition. It's not actually guaranteed to be in-game. So that's one of the things you need to take into consideration. Because
there was actually one thing I spotted was the medium power poles look really crisp and nice. That's what that's what the original asset looks like, not the pixelated mess dirty mess brown, the horrible thing that we got.
Yeah, it's the alpha channel or whatever they're called. Just adds the dirt and the grit. And unfortunately, takes away some of the niceties sometimes.
I think there's some weird downscaling going on with it. Also, with the signals, you said it was a bit difficult to tell the difference between the chains and the regulars. And I don't know. If anything, the rotation is lost. If you look at the chain signal and the regular signal next to the artillery, you'll notice it rotates. It locks to 90 degrees, the regular signal.
Yeah, look, the signals are just, they're just a dead entity, a remnant on the ground, and you have no idea what the rotation was beforehand. That probably doesn't matter, but just the chain signal to the normal signal, the
chain signal has a red dot on it where the red light was. The chain is just a broken block.
It's just a broken light bulb. I'd like if there was a little bit more of a difference. I know they're not going to go back and change it just for me, but if they want to, by all means, I'm not going to say no.
Maybe look at the rail signal down next to the other cargo wagon.
Yeah,
that one's a bit clearer. It's very different remnants. I think they're pretty well distinct.
Okay. We agree to disagree. It's one of the things. Well, the other thing is belts. Belts have lots of different remnants. Unfortunately, the power poles don't seem to in this one. They've also added different remnants for the walls because you see a lot of blown up walls in your game. So
they've got to look very same.
Yeah. That's an interesting change. But
It's interesting you can see steel reinforcing in it.
Well, that's for the reinforced concrete walls, okay?
Sure.
They come out in version 1.0, okay?
Okay, 1.2.
Yeah.
It's already been put back.
Oh, probably. One of the other things I did notice is the heat pipes they seem to have like two different versions, but I'd like it if some of the heat pipes carried some of that orange color that we've got.
Like a little bit of a glow.
Yeah, a little bit of a glow, a little bit of a something. Just because, like, that's the newest feature that's just been released, and we really, really love it. I've seen lots of people literally on Reddit just like, oh, look, I lit up my base with a nuclear reactor, and because they don't lose heat, I've seen people putting down, like, long line of heat pipes all the way down the bus, and then putting a reactor on the end, and then just removing the heat pipes after they're hot, and just leaving them as permanent lights in the base, which I love.
I saw someone had used it to create path lighting.
Yes.
Strip lights.
Yes.
That was a good one.
Yes. So yeah, lots of new remnants. I love them. There's a couple ones that, like I said, the assemblers we can accept. The Roboport's one that, yeah.
It's a bit I think heat pipes is probably the most underwhelming that I've seen.
Yeah, heat pipes are pretty meh. I'd like a bit more. I'd like a bit more of a variety. Just because, chances are your nuclear reactor, when it got blown up by a biter, was probably really hot at the time.
Probably, yeah.
Probably went up with an oomph. So
I kind of want to say pipe too, because it seems very repetitive, and I don't think it's broken up enough. And to that extent, the robo chests.
Oh, the robo chests, I could let them go, because generally, unless you're one of those people that just has like a massive central storage with, 500 storage chests, I'm looking at you, Mojo.
And it will.
Yeah, you and Will, yeah, you both got
He's
bad
worse.
habits. Yeah, definitely, but then you use
You're talking about me with the bad habits, Captain Deconstruct.
Hang on. Will has bad habits with way too much storage chests. You use modded chests that hold more. And still have a
way
lot
too
of
much.
Them. Yes. So I think you're the worst candidate when it comes to mass storage. Anyway, the chests I could probably let go because generally, if you're not looking at Will's base, my base, or Mojo's base, you don't have a pile of chests all sitting together. But yeah, you're right. Pipes are pretty bad actually.
Yeah, you can't unsee it now, can you?
Pretty boring. Yeah, I can't. Thanks for that, Mojo. It's just
if you actually compare the iron chest that's next to the tank, I reckon that one actually looks. The broken iron chest looks better than the logistics chest.
It looks like something's exploded from the inside. Where's the steel chest? Do we see a steel chest? That's an iron chest. I got a wooden chest.
I don't think I saw a steel chest. No, yeah.
No, I don't see a steel chest either. That's a bit disappointing. We go looking for the one thing that they don't have.
Huh.
I'm willing.
One job.
I'm willing to bet. Oh no, there's one job comes later. Anyway, I'm willing to bet it's probably going to use the same. Oh no, there's steel chests. Underneath the green train.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, no, I was going to say they're going to probably use the same style as the logistics chest, but no, it's different.
No.
Iron chest is winning so far.
Yeah, I think iron chest is the winner.
Yeah. I'm now disappointed by both the wooden and the steel chests.
Yeah.
I think future bases are going to be full of iron chests, just because they look better if you blow them up. Anyway, okay, so that...
negative route.
That is the new remnants. We have no answer when these are going to be added. This is just their in progress. So they've changed a lot of them. They've added new ones. We're trying to hit the balance between having the remnant look destroyed enough, yet still very well recognizable what the enemy was in the first place. And they say this is especially difficult for tall entities. This player has to be able to walk over them. And the extreme case being the train stop. So for the train stop, they've actually put in something special. And I like what they've done with the train stop, because honestly, a train stop, if you break it down to its core components, it's the upright bar, which if we squish that is a nothing, and then it's the coloured bit on the end, which in my case I'm lazy and they're all red, but that's really what a train station comes down to. So The colors, the train stations, when you actually blow them up, the color mask that they were will actually continue with. Well, they'll have that same color mask when it's broken up and destroyed on the floor. And poor Priscilla needed to add more code to support that because the graphics guys are always a pain in the ass, right, Mojo?
Yep, always. And you can tell that they've actually done that in the first picture with the trains too, because they would use the same code.
Yeah, the trains are using the same code. So is the tank and the car. Unfortunately, neither of those are coloured. But yes, if you blow up a tank that happens to be pink in the game, it's going to be blown up on the ground pink. So you know whose fault it was to take that tank out and get it destroyed.
Yeah.
So yeah, it means that players can walk through the pole, which is a little bit interesting. And I guess we'll just let this one slide. But because the way the Z layering works, it still looks like it's in front of the train track. If they just had it as a remnant on the ground, it would actually be underneath the train track and look ridiculous.
It would.
So Priscilla added some code. Good on you, Priscilla. So remnants with other color masks, we've got locomotives, turrets, cars, and tanks. Once the enemy dies, the color of the enemy stays with the remnant. We've covered that. Walls have got lots of different remnants as well to break up the monotony of them.
Monotony, yeah.
Yeah.
Heat type is a little lacking in variations.
Yeah, that's our own comment. Heat pipe and normal pipe. They both need some variations because again, they're like walls. They just happen in a mass. You don't have, well, unless you have a liquid bus, you don't have a pipe spread out through your base. They're generally just in the oil area, and heat pipes are obviously just wherever your reactor is and wherever you decide to have light in your base because of the last update. So yeah, they're hoping that the remnants will let you see what was destroyed and make everything a little bit more graphically pleasing when your base gets eaten. The one thing I want to add to all that is currently when things get eaten, you get a ghost of the item on top.
As long as you got the thing researched?
Yeah, you got to research bots.
As long as your bots researched, then it shows.
But it means two things. One, already know what everything is because it's already ghost put down. And two, it means half the time I'm not going to actually see these remnants. I'm only going to sort of see them for the first half of the game, but not for the second half of the game.
I wonder if these are going to be used for a refined version of the campaign map, where you start on a destroyed...
Yeah, I think they said that somewhere in here. Or maybe it was in the forums or Reddit.
It might have been on the forums. But yeah, that's what you could use it for. Certainly if you want to do any kind of narrow, confined scenario, you could use it for that purpose.
Yeah, it's not mentioned in here. Yeah, I know it was mentioned somewhere because I have read it around this Friday Facts. The one thing that, again, people commented on is, from memory, you could put remnants into the editor and into the scenario or into the code currently, but remnants have an expiry time, so they're only there for a certain amount of time before they disappear.
Before they expire.
So I'm guessing with the campaign getting more fleshed out, maybe that's going to be added into the editor so you can put down remnants that just stay there forever. Because I know the Narvis map that was in the Friday Facts, 2 weeks ago now? That one, the creator of the map couldn't do a lot of remnants, so they had to work with different wreckage that is in the game currently, like the crashed spaceship that is part of the new player, demo experience, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's an actual structure that just looks destroyed. So they had to use that in a lot of places. And, you're somewhat limited with creating a unique experience for a scenario or for a custom map. So, yeah, maybe a suggestion for the devs, like release that bit of code that lets you put down remnants that never decay.
Unless there's a property you can assign to it to make it never decay.
Not that I've seen, because I've looked for it myself. And, look, again, I don't know. I because we get ghosts put down, you miss a lot of this artwork for the destroyed stuff. In some ways, I'd like I'd like to maybe turn off the visualization of ghosts, maybe, or some sort of option so I can see the remnants clearly, even after I have the bot tech. So bots go down and automatically replace things, because obviously that's a feature I don't want to go away. But then again, I'd like to see when everything gets blown up the pretty artwork, because like obviously,
shinies.
Yeah, the shinies. The devs are putting a lot of time and a lot of effort into it, and unfortunately, after you get that Robotech, you just don't see it anymore. Because
yeah. Speaking of don't see it, there's no chemical plant in that picture.
There isn't. Probably because
I forgot to say it before.
Probably because the chem plant just had new graphics, and therefore doesn't have new remnants.
I mean, the graphics have been around for quite a while now.
Well, just actually been added to the Factorio code.
For the official release, but it's been around since whenever the FFF was published, which showed it all.
Ages ago.
So it's been around for a while.
Yeah, so...
Speaking of which, did you get glitchy animation on the smoke that the chemical plant was emitting?
No, I have seen...
Like, it was really choppy, like 3 frames?
I have seen pictures and stuff of it. I don't know whether it's been fixed or not. I actually haven't seen it in-game because I haven't updated. I haven't loaded Factorio since 66 came out, so yeah.
But you were in Factorio before we started. Yeah,
I was literally just updating my Factorio to 66 for a community map that's going to launch in probably about 3 hours. On the Narvis, that map that we just spoke about. We're launching a new community.
Post-apocalypse.
That's it, the post-apocalypse map. I'm literally in the process of setting up this month's community map.
You're not doing a community map on the next topic of the FFFA?
No, look, I'd love to because, okay, so the next one is Community Spotlight for Industrial Revolutions, and this is written by Bilka, and we're gonna go sideways first, and then we'll come back and read this, because Mojo opened the can of worms.
I don't know, maybe we'll just show off the mod first.
Okay, fine.
Technically, you're not allowed to anyway.
Yeah, technically we're not allowed to do anything. It's like, okay, so... let's just stick to this mod. So this mod is the it's called Industrial Revolution, and Bilka's actually been playtesting this mod. Now, Deadlock has put 1,000 hours in development of this mod, and he's finally released to the public today. I'd actually seen pre-released images, 2 months ago, I think, that first went up in the forums. My community has actually been really watching this mod develop, and I've been getting updates in my Discord regularly. Because it looks really, 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 really good. So Bilka spent 65 hours playing this mod. He fell in love with it, and he wants to present it here. And we're going to open this in a new tab. And it's a complete overhaul. 2, Bilka didn't turn on alt mode, so it tells us... tells us he doesn't know how to take screenshots, at least not Reddit-approved ones. Or at least he didn't use his mobile phone. Okay, at least he didn't use his mobile phone.
No. He didn't take a picture of the screen. So we got that right.
Yeah. But Deadlock's put a lot of time and effort into this. And I appreciate good mods. I appreciate the time and the effort mod developers do to put in the code first. And then, in the case of this one, redo a whole bunch of graphic assets for their own mod.
Yeah.
So
I believe the staple gun did some stuff with those mining drills too.
I haven't seen...
Another person called the staple gun, who I think was Bob's friend. Bob Bing About's friend.
I haven't seen... Where the hell is Miners?
Right in the middle. Well, a little bit to the right of the middle.
Okay, zoom picture right out. Miners? I don't even see ore. Is that ore on the ground? No.
It's above the green...
Above the green things. My computer's not agreeing with me.
Oh, it's being mean, is it?
Oh, okay. Now I see miners. Okay, that's unique and different, and I can already see they go up and down.
Yeah.
I like it. So, Deadlock's put a lot of time and effort into this, and as I said, I've been watching this slowly develop, and tidbits have been showing up on the forum posted by Deadlock for a long time. So this is Bilka's current base, which has machines from all ages forming one big factory. And I do appreciate the sheer level of spaghetti that's going on in this. I will say...
it's fantastic.
There is a lot of neat lines put in here as well. It's like, Bilka's very good at putting in neat lines and then suddenly realizing something on A on the left-hand side of the base needs to go to something B on the right-hand side of the base and just gets a belt there. As long as the belt gets there, it doesn't matter how, let's just get the belt there.
It's interesting, you see the solutions to get fuel into the output inserters too.
Oh, yeah. So one of the things this mod adds is it slows down the progression. So you start at the Stone Age with classic burner machinery, and then you need to feed those burner inserters because you're going to be holding on to them for a very, very long time. It adds new intermediates to all crafting steps to allow automation stage. So we get burner assemblers, burner labs. In fact, you don't get power till Blue Science. So you get Stone Age, then Bronze Age, which is made from the 2 starting alloys. So you get tin and copper, so we get new resources as well. Bronze machines are in the logistics science packs. Iron Age is the next science after that, which is when you finally get power, and oil and trains and all that sort of fun stuff. And Steel Age is towards the end of, like, I don't know, I guess it must be the purple packs, unless we've got more packs added that aren't mentioned. He's got new gun turrets, so it's a real complete overhaul mod. But it also means that because you have that burner tech for a long time, you're stuck with burner inserters, which means your burner inserters need fuel, and if you're running around manually refilling burner inserters, especially if you've got the best fuel you've got's coal, they don't last long if they're always active. So yeah, you end up with some really, really unique builds.
Especially, so the input ones are fine, it's the output ones that's the challenge as well.
Yes and no. So my community map just did Warptoria, and it's an entirely separate mod, but the one thing I did is I actually put on another mod that turned off all electrical inserters. So we haven't had real inserters, we've had real assemblers, but not real inserters.
Oh, so you've been burner inserting everything.
A burner inserter everything. And there are a lot of times, and Bilka's got it here, where he's putting gears into Red Science in whatever this picture is, the second picture, where he's got gears on both sides of the belts, but then he's got a burner inserter feeding over the belt, and it's a long-handed burner inserter, I might add, feeding over the belt to add fuel into the burner inserters that are moving the gears, because obviously you probably need all the room on the belt for the gears.
It's actually also feeding what looks like copper plate into Red Science.
Yeah.
What's interesting is the output, as you see that there's the output inserter is outputting onto a half belt.
Yep.
And then there's an inserter inserting fuel into that inserter.
Yeah. So
like putting fuel into the input one isn't so bad, except for that case where they've got the gears feeding into the...
Oh, it's horrible everywhere, and it's not going to get any better. And that was one of the things I really loved about last month's community map. It was the absolute nightmare of trying to fuel everything. And in our case, we got all the way up to, like, yellow tech and rocket science, but we still only had burner inserters. Have you, like, Mojo, if you want a challenge, make a 8-beaconed science build that has nothing but burner inserters. So every single inserter that you use to feed those labs needs to also have an inserter near it to feed fuel into that inserter.
But you're not going to get the speed out of it because it's on their burner inserter.
Oh, no. We've got burner stack inserters. These things are fast. They just
then.
use fuel really fast, which means you
got to feed it like either or you won't be able to feed it coal.
I think we have rocket fuel by then.
So rocket fuel.
Yeah. But it's the challenge of getting all the belts inside the beacon range with all... Actually, I think it was an 8 beacon. Yeah, it was an 8 beacon setup. But also having, all the burner inserters, try to feed all the inserters. It's an absolute nightmare. And Bilka found this out as well. So,
yes.
Yeah, he got to... When he started testing the mod, I was expecting a long-ish casual playthrough with some different recipes, different challenges, more logistics puzzles, and completely new recipes were in the whole experience. The extended burner phase of the mod introduced unconventional problems for me, fueling burner inserters and assemblers. His proudest creation was his electric motor one, which needs 4 inputs, and all the burner inserters need actual fuel as well. And this is the mess he came up with, and it is glorious.
somewhat been defeated in the sense that it goes to, admittedly not quite, but it goes into a passive provider chest.
Yeah, but then it comes out and goes on a belt anyway. So that's
Yeah.
probably a later
So
addition. But yeah, like
that's why I say probably not actually.
this is a logistical nightmare, and I love it. Trying to get fuel in everywhere, like he's side loading fuel on undergrounds. He's got that looks like right at the top. It looks like he's got a burner inserter taking from a fuel belt that's off screen, putting on a 2-piece belt chunk to feed the actually assembly machine, and the burner inserter beside it, which is running into, I don't know, some sort of weird iron bubbly stuff. Yeah, iron balls, something.
Bearing balls.
Probably bearings, yeah. So, yeah, like I said, absolute logistical nightmare. I love it. I do admit having long-handed burner inserters is probably making this whole mess a lot easier.
It would make it a lot easier.
Yeah, it would. So, going from this so far, Bilka's really loving it. In fact, his praises are so high, I actually think he's converted over entirely and he stopped working for Woob and he's gone and started working for Deadlock. Because, yeah, his next one is another great change by the mod. It's how it deals with ore processing. So ore processing, rather than being a whack down a miner and then whack down some smelters, each different age of the game lets you further refine your ore to get you more plates, basically. So you start off with your basic
the classic technical Minecraft process, basically.
Yeah, and I've played with a couple of mods that do this, and it can be really, really interesting. The catch is, and it looks like Bilka encountered exactly this problem, is when you first start off, you have no idea how much space you need. And he's gone and consequently shoved everything into a relatively small area. For this is gold, is it not? I can't remember. No idea. It's some sort of ore. It looks pretty goldish. Gold
Probably
being
gold.
mined, crushed and purified to increase its yield before smelting it, all in the same area. So, yeah, this is gold. And, yeah, look, I love a good logistical nightmare, but, I don't know. I'm not that much of a fan of having to go back and refactor old things, especially...
It's a real pain.
Well, it's especially...
as far as playing goes and development goes, like... Developing for it is a real pain, and then that's why they ended up with what they got, the vanilla one. Because I was going to say also that arguably is not wrong. The vanilla one is pretty terrible.
Well, the vanilla one is pretty terrible. It's pretty simple, but it works. And I think at the end of the day, that probably matters more than anything else. Like, I like the idea of each step of the process you get to have a more refined material, but I don't want to go from iron ore to iron plate to then have iron ore to crushed iron ore to iron plate, to then iron ore to crushed iron ore to washed crushed iron ore to iron plate. I want to go iron to iron plate. Okay, now I can take iron plate and I can do something else with it. Treat it with acid or something to go to 1.2 iron plate. So I want to add more steps on the end rather than adding steps
you want to add
between
more.
A and
You want to
B.
add more steps. You don't want to be inserting stuff at the beginning.
Yeah, because that just seems like a...
And that's how all the Minecraft mods basically do it.
Yeah.
It's what is it? It's you start with, you mine the ore directly, then you smelt it, then you mine it, crush it, smelt it, then you mine it, crush it, you wash it, and then smelt it. You mine it, you wash it, you turning it into a liquid, then yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like Bob's
five-step
mod.
thing.
Yep, sounds like Bob's mod.
Pretty much what Bob's mod was derived from.
Yeah, it does the exact same thing pretty much. So,
it's been the staple of these sort of games since 2010.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not a fan. On the end of the process, go for it. Like, all for it. He does say that to help with the whole constant refactoring, you do get very, very early construction bots. Wherever it is. Another possible problem with the long burner phase is it can be deadly for automatic construction. This is prevented by the additions of very early personal construction robots. The clockwork punk bots can be used with an automatically refueling burner generator that fits into heavy armor and all available in the Bronze Age, which sounds good Except we all know from personal robots, like ignoring the fact that maybe this refuel or recharges them fast enough, that they don't get a lot done around the base. They're literally
No.
right where you're standing, which relies on your inventory, which relies on you having the stuff, which relies on your inventory filling up with crap and then emptying with crap. If you've got to keep refactoring your tin production, your copper production, your iron production, your gold production, whatever other ores we've got along here, your inventory is going to fill up with a lot of crap often, which you're going to have to keep clearing. I like I said, not a fan.
Yeah, and it's quite apparent that because he's given you the early construction bots that Deadlock's run into the same problem.
Yeah, obviously
of the
somebody's
constant refactoring.
Complained that, the refactoring is a bit of a pain, and he's added in these bots to sort of ease the process.
It's like Pivorics was acutely aware of it too.
Yeah, so, Bilko also mentions that one of the things you always have with adding these intermediate steps is they normally have byproducts. Again, anybody who's played Bobs, not so much Angels, Bobs or C Block would know about this. You have all those intermediate products that generally you put in a chest, and then when the chest fills up, you shoot it until you get to later the game when you can actually do something with it. In the case of this mod, all those intermediate products are needed somewhere else along the chain line, with your production chain.
As long as they're immediately usable. And that's another thing that Factorio shies away from, is dealing with those byproducts. Because as soon as you start thinking about it, then you say, well, what do you do with this? And then, okay, then you're that. And then what do you do with that? And then what do you do with that? And it just keeps on going.
Yeah, look, I've got no problem with... And again, look, I've got very, very limited experience when it comes to Bobs and C Block and Angels and all that sort of stuff. But I know with the liquids especially, like, they have a use. And if they don't have a use, you can put them in a vent stack and burn them off. And
that's Angel's solution to it. And
and I like that solution.
It's okay.
I'm not a fan. You don't have to worry about trying to keep things in ratio from a development point of view. Because, if you build a slightly weird and wacky base, like I'm sure Mojo has, and I know I've done many times, I'm doing a base that does rockets per minute. I need, for the first time ever, I need more copper than I need iron, because that's how rockets work. So
that's because of the science change, and the fact that it's actually entirely down to the fact that mining jewels is gone. That took away a huge chunk of iron plate demand. And also the steel demand and copper plate demand to low density changed.
Yeah,
that's where most of it goes now.
It's the fact that I'm just doing the rocket part, and rocket, like, the first half of the game is so iron heavy that the end of the game, the rockets, are copper heavy to sort of balance everything out. And my situation is I'm just doing the rocket part, which means I'm all about the copper, not so much the iron. So.
Oh, yeah, and the circuit demand for the control units is huge, too.
Yeah, the circuit demands for everything is huge, so I'm just burning through copper. But yeah, I'm at that part of the game, which means, like, all my mining and outpost ratios are off, because I'm really looking for more copper, not more iron, because I'm building a slightly different base. And again, if the devs are trying to do any sort of washing of ore and having byproducts, then they need to sort of ratio out those byproducts so you don't end up with too many of them, or some way to quickly just get rid of them and destroy them. And like I said, the Angels would be able to just put it in a stack and burn it off, or vent it to the atmosphere. I like that. I like that option. It means that you don't have to worry about your ratios being perfect or nothing backing up. You can just, at the end of the day, if everything's used, everything it needs, we've got a little bit in storage, just delete the rest.
In the case of Angel's ores, when you're processing ore, I can't remember. I didn't say it before, but I can't remember what actually happens to. I should actually know this, because when you sort and process ores in the Watsets, you get stone as a byproduct. And I don't remember what you do with those, but you do accumulate a lot of stone in Angel's ores.
In C Block, you turn it to landfill, so it's settled. Just play C Block. Don't play Angels. Right?
Yeah, and that's one solution, but it's not a finite, like an infinite solution. It's a finite solution. You got to put it somewhere.
I think in Angels it might still be a problem. As I said, I really don't know that much about Angels.
I can't remember, unfortunately.
I know lots of people.
I think the final process, it sort of deals with it eventually.
In the meantime, you've just got 10 billion storage sitting in those storage boxes that we complained about at the start. Yeah.
Yes. That was something that I really hated about it.
So, also because you're in a very, very long extended burner stage, you're producing extra pollution, which is where Vanilla's boring defenses become more varied with the new turret types. The first turret you unlock is the Bronze Scattergun. It works similarly to a shotgun. These turrets are great at taking out groups and still make up a large part of Bilka's defenses. However, their range is pretty crap and doesn't outrange a medium splitter, which leads you to the machine guns and the lasers. And again, Deadlock's done a wonderful job. The Scattergun is obviously a whole new animation, but also he's replaced the miniguns to a certain extent, and the lasers are entirely new.
He's redone the chain gun or the machine gun to his own thing, and then he's got this own laser turret, which I don't know. It's very steampunk sort of thing going.
Yeah, it is, and unfortunately, we're looking at the back of him. So, Bilka, go
One job.
Have the biters attack from the south, so we get to see the front of the cannons,
or let's see the side of the cannon.
Yeah, have them attack in a corner. That way, we get all the views. And just put the turrets in the middle, in some biter bases, have them attack from every side. We get the best picture possible. New turrets are great. I love the idea of the shotgun turrets. I've seen a lot of mods have done these, and
that's one of the not so much the shotgun turrets. I want to see the rocket turrets. That's the thing that I've always wanted.
Well, we did have rocket defense at one stage in Factorio.
It didn't actually do anything. It was just a 3x3 or 5x5 rocket defense, and it literally said on it in Times New Roman rocket defense. It didn't do anything.
Yeah, it was called a rocket defense. It's been in the game once. I know it didn't do anything. Actually, didn't we have rocket turrets at once? I thought we actually had rocket turrets.
I don't remember anyone doing it.
Okay.
The game's always had the machine gun turrets and laser turrets.
Look,
and the laser turrets used to be 1x1.
Yeah, I know. I remember that change.
And then became 2x2 and 4 times the power.
Yeah, I remember that change. I remember a lot of bases suddenly exploding with having too many lasers because they all overlapped one another. And their power just died. Yeah. So I've seen the shotgun turrets in other mods. Again, I don't know why it's not in vanilla. That's really what it comes down to. I'd like to see shotgun turrets in vanilla. And
probably doesn't add much over the machine gun one.
It probably doesn't, but I think for those early mass biter waves at small biters, it would probably add because they just clear a path down the middle when they start coming in. And I think graphics point of view, early gameplay, it'd be handy. And I've seen rocket turrets in plenty of mods as well, and they can be quite devastating. Especially, I saw a mod once where you could load nukes into the rocket turret. And the catch was, there was a big warning on it that was make sure that you load it very, very slowly, one rocket at a time, because you only want it to shoot once when the biters first show up. Not when they get to your wall. Otherwise, you're not going to have a wall left, because it's just shooting at the closest.
Yeah, because it doesn't have a minimum range.
Well, it did have a minimum range, but the minimum range was inside the...
minimum range was at its base.
Yeah. I think it was about 10 tiles or something, but a nuke's range is 30 tiles on the explosion. So, yeah. Bilka loved this mod. I like the idea of this mod. As I said,
you can't play it.
My community... well, no, I can play it. My community's been tracking it for quite some time. But Deadlock, he's not the first one, but he's definitely the first one who's been noted for doing this in the Factorio community, has actually put a fairly explicit custom license into his mod. And basically, it's banned anybody from streaming it, putting videos up on YouTube, anybody who's making any sort of monetized content around Factorio, interacting with his mod in a public fashion without prior asking for his permission.
It actually says you're not allowed to post it on social media either. You're not talking about it on social media.
So,
it's when I think, I'm not sure which one got me at war, was that or the other one about content creation?
Well, I've actually got a copy of the actual license, because I had to go. This is the funny thing: when you go to the mod portal, you can't read the license until you download the mod, and then you can read the license requirements for this mod. So yeah, you're not permitted to make money from this mod or any of the contained assets unless you seek and obtain written agreement from the copyright holder. This includes commercial, monetized social media activities such as taking donations from YouTube or Twitch streaming, etc. You can distribute it with conditions. So you can give out the mod as it is in its entirety, as long as it's unchanged. You must also provide a link to the original mod and the mod page acknowledging the original author, which is pretty stock standard, actually, with a lot of the mods.
Generally, yeah.
And you can modify with permission, well, with conditions, is you have to link back to the original mod and say this is where it all started. And it's only for private and for personal use network games. And you can't publish those. So you can't change the mod in any way and then release it publicly, which is...
Yeah, that's what you expect.
It's what you'd expect, but it's like, how do you enforce or not enforce that? Like, you can make alterations for the mod for personal use or for private network games. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, right. Because if you're not redistributing it, no one's going to know. No one's enforcing it. No one can enforce it.
No one can enforce it because nobody knows about it. So it's like, if you have your mate come over who brings his whole, or actually, better example, if your flatmate beside you buys a game back on the days when games required a disc to be in the disc drive for you to open and install the game, and to first run the game, and then you took the disc out and put it in your machine and booted the game, you could then play multiplayer together. And it was one of those unenforceable rules because technically you both needed to own a license, but you could get around it because you both used the same disc, which the game took as being legit at the time of opening the game, but didn't check to see whether the disc was in the computer as the game kept running. So
the classic one for me was I'd only check when the game started up, and then it just passed the parcel, so to speak.
Yeah. I remember playing games with, like, even when people own their own copy, it'd be like, no, people are coming over for a LAN, don't bother bringing your disc. We'll just move the same disc around four or five computers because I own a copy and everybody else owns a copy. And we just move the same disc around so nobody has to remember to bring their discs. And you don't end up with a situation where somebody goes home with too many discs and somebody's left short forever. So, look, this mod's weird. The way Deadlock has written it, basically, no streamer or YouTube, anybody who might want to show off this mod is allowed to use it without asking for his permission. So ultimately he has the final say on whether people can use this mod or not. And the other
actually, it kinda does, but kinda doesn't at the same time.
It's in that grey area of the law. So look,
mods sit in a grey area where it's kind of sanctioned modifying code, but not properly, formally, officially.
Yeah, it's really, really in the grey area. And at the end of the day, we can talk about it because it's featured in the Friday Facts, so we're talking about the Friday Facts, so we can talk about it there. And then again, it probably falls under fair use if I play this mod and stream the content. Because I'm transforming the medium that is the mod when playing
the content is you, and the game. The mod is only a small fraction.
Yeah. And so, again, it probably...
Donations, and on Twitch, donations and subs for the content, for the presentation that you create, not the mod itself. The mod is... the game is minuscule in comparison. Yeah,
look, I can't ask for money for me to play some sort of mod or anything like that. And nor would I ever, because that's somebody else's hard work. I'm happy to play Factorio. I'm happy to play other games. I have played lots of different games on stream, and you're the same. Like today, you were playing 2 Point Hospital, weren't you?
2 Point Hospital, yeah.
Yeah. We both stream all sorts of different content, and people show up sometimes just for Factorio. Sometimes I have people show up just because I'm playing Oxygen Not Included. You've had the same.
Yep. Some people show up for specific games. Some people show up for all games.
Yeah.
But they're showing up for the content creator, not the game. Why
Yeah,
not the mod?
there's lots of people that show up, like, irrespective of what stupid game I happen to be playing. Or sometimes when I've accidentally gone live to sit down and play with the settings and 30 people show up and they're all chatting to me at the same time. Because, yeah, I'm literally here just trying to tweak the streaming settings. So, yeah, people show up for all different reasons. So, I don't know about this mod. I've already seen Exterm's Friday Facts, and he's said that he's not going to be looking into the mod. I know Factorio MMO is actually running this mod currently on a map and has asked for permission and gotten permission. I was looking forward to running this map or this mod on my my community map, which is going to start in the next 3 hours. But because I got to ask for permissions and then get it in writing, even if I got it in writing, I'm going to launch the map in 3 hours. I highly doubt I'm going to leave a message on the mod portal and get a reply back within 3 hours to then get the mods uploaded with the map ready to go.
That's assuming you do get a positive response and it says, no, give me your money.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing.
Because then you could actually counterclaim him for monetizing Factorio.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing. He can't... You're in grey area of a grey area of a grey area of the law. Yeah.
So the thing I was alluding to was that this has come up so many times before. This has come up in the last time that I remember this blowing up was with Minecraft. I mentioned on your Discord where all the Minecraft modders started using Adafly links, and they were really annoying things to use. They send you through to an ad that makes you a holding portal, and then it counts down, and then it links you through to the actual download.
Yes, and it was literally pennies or 0.000 cents per click. But if you're getting lots of clicks, it adds up, and
then
there was
the thing was you start asking the questions like, okay, this mod now adds one little thing that you probably coded in half an hour. Why are we getting you all this money?
Yeah, but again, wasn't that cracked down on eventually?
Yeah, it was, because basically the conclusion was that they were profiting off
Minecraft's base code.
They were profiting off Minecraft's base code, because of the way Minecraft modding works is that you need to decrypt the base code, and then you're modifying it and redistributing it. So you're monetizing the redistribution, which is very not.
Oh, okay. So that's that. Well, we're also talking about...
Someone will probably correct me on that, but yeah.
Yeah, we're also talking about it beforehand, where we both remember this happening with Doom back in the day.
This sort of stuff goes way back. So this is as old as modding itself, this issue.
Yeah, and with Doom, it was a unofficial expansion pack for Doom.
Yeah, it was like a campaign, and because it was kind of sort of pre-internet, it had to be a boxed copy.
Yeah.
And yeah, I can't remember the details now. I know it was messy. There was a lot of infighting. And it actually still goes on. You don't see it though, as I remember reading about it. There was another mod.
Oh, Skyrim multiplayer mod just had one recently.
Oh, really? See, I didn't pay attention.
So Skyrim.
Speaking of, Skyrim is another pain in itself. That's one of those lockdown communities where they think they own everything because it has to go through They want to go through Nexus mods for everything, basically. The modding community.
Yeah, Skyrim doesn't do multiplayer, does it?
Not normally, no.
Okay, so yeah, there's a modding section that were doing multiplayer that had a Patreon page and basically lots of tantrums and everything else. But I actually think the devs stepped in at the end and said, no, you do not have permission at all to use any Skyrim anything and make any mods for Skyrim ever again. Just because of the tantrums. That and they were making like 10 grand per month on Patreon. So yeah, making mods, I fully agree with. I love modders out there. I have multiple modders in my Discord, which I support. I was watching a streamer today who was using a mod that I do not particularly like that does involve trains, and then I have a mod that I really, really like that uses trains, and I said, you should try this new mod that uses trains that does almost the same job as the other train mod does, but doesn't use as many combinators. Not mentioning any mod names there whatsoever.
None at all.
But yeah, look, I mentioned that because I really like that mod, and I really like that mod creator. And the work they do, and that when we post bugs and stuff, that they're fixed 9 times out of 10 before I post the bug report. So I love mods. I love what the mod creators do. The catch is they're in a sticky situation where they technically, when most games are concerned, not all of them, can't monetize their work in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's why. It's actually why a lot of developers shy away from allowing mods at all, because they just don't want to deal with. Because it is a lot of pain to deal with.
Yes, and I think with the new EU internet license laws coming in whenever they get ratified, it means Woob technically takes on a lot of responsibility for the mods they're hosting on their site.
Yeah, and actually, when I was doing the research for this, they need to clean up the licensing of it. It's very loose and very. They need a lawyer to look at it.
Yeah. Which again, it's gonna be the EU laws gonna be trampling some of the modding communities all over the world. But anyway, that's all besides the point.
Anyway,
so I love modders. Them monetizing stuff is very, very difficult. I understand. I fully agree with them asking if people want to donate. Patreon, PayPal, all those sorts of different avenues. Yeah. That people can donate. And that's one thing I'm fully for. Having a mod creator say, no, you cannot because you have a habit or you are good at or you have in the past streamed or made a YouTube video or anything like that, you cannot show this mod to anybody. Yet, if I had Mojo sitting here right beside me, wouldn't be an issue. That I don't approve of. I don't agree with at all.
Yeah. The thing that bothers me is it makes it sound like that, you just sit in front of a computer and money starts showering down, and that's just not true at all.
God, I'd love to do a work week that
if that actually happened, then everyone would do it because then it's easy, and it's just not true. And I think that's the thing I think that's where Deadlock's confused, is that he thinks that people actually make money out of content creation, and you don't. Well, you do and you don't.
I can fully admit I make money out of content creation. I do cover every single month on my channel updates how much I make per month. I believe I'm up to the grand total highest month ever of 92 Australian dollars from YouTube per month for a 50+ hour work week. I get paid really well. Yeah, it works at about 25 cents per hour, roughly, give or take.
I haven't even made any money yet.
Yeah, you don't have enough people on YouTube.
This covers everything too. Never made anything.
Okay, so the money we make is nothing. Even those that are doing it full time obviously do make more money. But then again, it's hours. It's hours. Yeah,
and hours they're doing. A lot of them are doing 18-hour days, huge days to just barely scrape.
Yeah, look, I have my long days and my very, very long days. Yeah.
That's why. Wrapping up is actually really insulting that he says it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, modders are kind of stuck. Like if you, I don't want to say it. I really don't want to say it because I love modders and I love what they do. I don't want to say it, but like, if you don't want people monetizing it, don't mod it in the first place. Or if you don't want to sink all this time into it, you never should have done it. Like, need to be aware of it.
Yeah, look, I do what I do in the way of content creation because I enjoy doing it. The fact that I make $92 per month on the best month ever is a bonus. And that's really how I look at it. It's nothing. I make nothing for my time and for my effort. And modders fall into the same category. Like, you're either doing it because you enjoy doing it, or if you don't enjoy doing it, don't do it. Right?
If you're not going to enjoy it for doing it for nothing, for doing it as a hobby, then don't do it.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day...
I think that's the best way to conclude it there.
I think at the end of the day, if Deadlock's put this much time and this much effort into it, at the end of the day, he still gets to walk away with I made a mod, it has this many thousand downloads, it has this artwork, and he has potentially something he can add to a portfolio if he ever chooses to get a job in coding, artwork, sound design,
or game design or something in general.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he already has a job anyway.
Yeah,
so
probably.
You want to wrap up?
I was just going to say that I don't know what qualifications what we do gets us. We can't really add it to a portfolio for any real job out in the world. At all. Very, very limited jobs with a lot of people that want that job. Anyway, that's where we're going to leave it. Yep. All right. Long video.
It's nearly 5:30, so...
Yeah. Okay, food. All right. Thank you guys for watching, as always. As I said, new community map is launching in the next couple of hours. Might be a link down in the comments for an exact time code. And I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you again, Mojo. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.